Welcome to Guitar and Tech News number 10. I'm your host Adam Steele. This week, the NAMM show in California is on the horizon. It's not yet happened, but some of the companies are starting to reveal things so that we're getting all excited, and there's a few of those things in here today, but there's also some big news in the guitar world which we'll get to very shortly. Brent Hinds of Mastodon has worked with Orange amps for a long time, and now they're releasing a Brent Hinds signature Terra amp, loosely kind of like the tiny Terra that was so successful for Orange for a long time, but it looks more like a 30-watt head that's got a dirty natural switch. They've got what they call the headroom to bedroom switch, which means it should be usable for the kind of lower tier bedroom users without getting the neighbours upset. We'll have to find out when that's available for you and let you know. Positive Grid, makers of the Bias amp, Bias effects, and all the Bias hardware, have announced the software Bias Amp 2. It seems to be a complete rework of the software from previously, including what they now call the Dynamic Tone Engine, with a complete upgrade on the sound of the tubes and the transformers, and the cabinets seem to be upgraded as well with licensed Celestion speakers in the cabinets. We here at the Hot Pole are massive fans of Celestion speakers, so we're glad to see that they're getting more traction in the digital world. Whether the amps themselves actually sound markedly improved is something that we'll see in the future. Hopefully we'll get a review copy and we'll be doing a comparison of Bias amp with the previous version and with other virtual guitar software to see how that sounds. Audient, manufacturer of small interfaces and large consoles, are now releasing their largest interface to date, the ID44. It seems to be based largely on user feedback, with a lot of commonly requested features being added. Simple things like an on-off switch, more complicated things like 2 of the microphone preamps out of the now 4 having completely balanced insert points, the insert returns of which go straight to the analog to digital converters so you can use external preamps straight to the ADC, 2 ADAT ports in and 2 ADAT ports out, meaning that you can have 20 channels either way from this little interface, and also a word clock out option on the back, meaning that you can keep all your external preamps synchronized. With extra little details like metering for each of the 4 onboard preamps, inbuilt pads, 48 volt and high pass filter for all of those, and a talkback button where you can configure any PC or Mac audio device to be the talkback so that you don't waste one of your preamps that you spent all this money on, are all things that we're very excited to test. On the last episode of Guitar and Tech News, we talked about Tosin Abasi's new signature guitar range. It seems that the Chinese have already beaten them to the punch by producing their own Abasi signature, without the name on the headstock of course, that look scarily like the ones that we've seen. It seems that Chinese manufacturers are getting better and better at producing very cheap copies. We'll see whether they actually stack up to the originals, but if they do, that'll be a serious saving on the part of project guitar tinkerers. YouTube are bringing the hammer down on smaller creators. The YouTube Partner Program, which is what pays the AdSense revenue to small channels and large channels alike, is now having a cutoff point at 1,000 subscribers and a minimum of 4,000 hours watched over a year. What this means is that any budding audio producers who want to get their name out there on YouTube won't be making any AdSense revenue unless you get past that relatively high threshold. Although, to be fair, the amount of ad revenue that you would make over a year at that threshold is not enough really to make a living off. If you can make a living off something like $40 a year, let me know how, because I'd love to know. Have you been thinking about getting an AMD Ryzen based system? Now might be the best time to hold on, unless you're looking for serious value, because AMD have just announced the Ryzen 2 chipset is going to be released in April. This is going to be based on the 12nm system, which means it's going to be smaller chips, lower heat generation, faster processors, generally more efficiency, which also means that the original Ryzen processors will probably be on sale at some serious bargain prices. And last but not least, the announcement has been made this week that the almighty thrash metal band Slayer are calling it a day. They're going to be retiring after many years of making loud, scary noises, but they're going to be doing a farewell tour first. They seem to think that There's a certain age for them at which, like for example, the bass player and lead singer Tom Araya can no longer headbang because he's had to have surgery to fix his spine and neck. At 35 years, it's time to collect my pension, taken from a 2016 interview with Loudwire, but it seems that they've finally taken that final step, so once the business decisions are squared away, it looks like Slayer will be no more. And that's all for Guitar and Tech News today. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and look forward to next week with another episode of Viewers' Comments in this time slot. And then the next week is going to be the second episode of the Hopcast, where we will be dissecting everything that went on at NAMM and all the new products that are potentially interesting or hilarious that will really change the scene for 2018. So thanks for watching. I'm Adam Steele for the Hot Pole Studios, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, feel free to check out our other videos as you can find here, or check out our Facebook and Twitter, or our Patreon page, which helps us to make more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.